Okay, orientation is locked, rotate device back. I have to check that in settings. But anyway, I'm going live because I got some time to kill. I also wanted to address this idea that teaching kids martial arts is not the answer per se to keeping them from being a victim of violence, especially at schools. This idea comes from one of my most loyal followers and viewers, Hasib, too. And so, while I disagree on this with this point, he does. I understand where he's coming from, and it's not like he's 100% off base. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get us at a good level. So please bear with me. All right. I understand what he's saying to a degree in that, there are a lot of kids that can go to school and they can manage to go through high school, college, and not get into any type of major altercations. Yeah, that does happen. But this is the thing. You have no guarantee that your child is going to be one of those. Okay? And a lot of times, for what I've seen, if a child doesn't have to deal with any type of attacks, it's not necessarily because they're just good with social skills, they can talk their way out of stuff. A lot of it is that they're kids that don't stand out. They're really not that unique. They can blend in with the rest of the crowd and be fine. I hate to say it, but a lot of times if you have a child that's exceptional, you have a child that dares to bring his books home, he's going to have problems. He's going to have problems with bullies. And, depending on the environment or, whatever subculture they're attached to, it does not put a primo value in education, your child's going to have problems. Also, too, you also may have a child that's totally a random victim of violence. Contrary to popular belief, you can really be doing nothing and be attacked by someone. I know it's happened to me. And sometimes you could be attacked by someone because they think that you're someone else. And by the time they realize that you're not who they thought you were, you may have been hit a couple of times. Now, see, Hasib's point is that a lot of times, especially when you're talking about like the last viral video that I did a commentary on when this boy's getting stomped in the head and stuff like that. A lot of times there's some kind of backstory to that. That's a theme. They got a theme of escalation going on. Some stuff happened up to the build-up where this person is attacking the person that ends up being the victim, and basically saying the victim brought it on themselves. Well, that could be, and I'm sure that happens to some people. In fact, I know it happens to some people. But those aren't the type of people I'm talking about. See, those type of children are not going to take martial arts lessons anyway. And if they do, I've seen some not just come to me, but come to a few others. Those type of kids, they don't last. They're probably going to get a stripe on their belt or their white belt if they get that far. They're not going to last and not going to become lifelong students. Because the ones that last, that stay dedicated to the martial arts and go really far, end up being kids who are not bullies, end up being kids who talk things out. They end up being kids who not only can graduate to having verbal skills, but they have physical skills as well. Okay? So, and this is another thing. What we saw in the video that inspired this commentary, to me, I don't really consider that a fight per se. I consider that a crime. I'm sorry. Some of these things that they like to call fighting or boys being boys, some of this stuff, I felt this way even when I was a teenager. This is a crime. This person is a victim of a crime. I felt like some of these people will try to perform a crime on me. It's beyond we got mad, we decided to duke it out, and then we shake hands afterwards. And if we're old enough, we go have a beer afterwards. If we're younger, we go have a slice of pizza. Some of this stuff is straight up criminal. Some of this stuff is straight up crimes. Okay, and with the lack of male authority figures in school, lack of male authority figures in some of these homes, it's like that pastor, what was his name? He was a real controversial pastor. Oh, James David Manning said in one of his videos, I never forget this. He said, there's so many police in our community, we don't have any fathers. Without fathers in the home, without fathers in the home, you know, there's no fathers to stop these young boys from beating each other up. So there's no fathers there to break up and de-escalate these fights. Mothers can't do it. It is not to say that mothers are inferior. Mothers physically don't have the muscle to do it. It's usually fathers who break that stuff up when the children get to be that big. And some of these kids, you know, being children, they're going to want to buck the system. They're going to act out. There's no man there to keep them in check. So they're going to act out. And then once they start acting out, they may start acting out towards your child who's not acting out. See, that's the thing. Just because you taught your child how to act right, you got your child squared away. You got your child to use his or her words. That doesn't mean that the next child is going to use his or her words. Okay? So, teaching children martial arts is not going to solve everything, but it will at least help you make sure that your child can handle him or herself if he or she gets assaulted. And not only that, and I want to close. Anybody coming? Right here. Not only that, though, martial arts lessons for children have been shown to help with autism. It's been shown to help with neuropraxia. It's also helped children become more athletic and help them with weight control. So those are all benefits in addition to helping them with their academics. So those are all benefits for martial arts that will definitely, directly help children, and that's why I say it is a solution. And it will help them protect themselves from the kids who want to go just beyond fight, who want to commit crimes. Because like it or not, there are some people who are not going to leave you alone unless you throw them through a window, or unless you kick them in their chest. I've seen this happen with my own eyes. Some, especially with children, they don't get it until they get it. It's sad, but that's just the way it is. And we really shouldn't expect much else from children because they're children. They're on their way to becoming adults. So, you know, I would say it would be better for them to catch a minor beating from another child who's a martial artist than for them to get to the point where they start hammering and beating on people, and then the person they're beating on can't fight them back because they don't know how to fight, and then they're going to get a major beating from the police that are going to be called in to break it up, because the teachers aren't trained in martial arts either, so they can't break it up. And I'm like, you know, if they won't take time to make teachers or force teachers to get training, let them not break it up. It's going to go to the school security, who's going to turn them over to the police. And the next thing you know, some child who's, you know, may have criminal tendencies but could still be saved or rehabilitated, they're going to jail. Do we want that? Do we want them to go to jail if they don't have to? Now, some of them need to, but you see my point? Put your kids in a martial arts class. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people who like to talk about the martial arts. And peace.